Terminus Zombie Survival has no right to be as good as it is. This is a zombie survival game, but it's turn-based. And even though I didn't really think that it would be much of a game to play, I figured I'd give it a go. And an hour and 20 minutes into a recording, I realized that for some reason I was addicted to this game, and I still don't know why. So Terminus Zombie Survival is a game that allows you to essentially play out a character that has to survive a zombie apocalypse and get to a place called Terminus. You're able to move around areas, searching for things, crafting things, and everything uses up action points. Action points are there and can be increased by resting or just waiting, and there are certain means to allow you to restore them without having to skip your turn. When you start off the game, you start off in your house, and the idea is that you just gather everything you can and then you move on to the next tile. Every single tile has a cost in order to actually travel there using AP, and sometimes when you get there you won't have enough AP to actually do anything, so you have to skip your turn. The minute you skip your turn, it becomes the zombie's turn, and that's when they start moving. Now, most of the time you'll find that you don't have to worry about the zombies actually seeing you or coming across you, but if they get within a certain distance, they will turn red and that will show you that they're able to attack you. Now, on your turn, when you can move, you can pick the squares that you move to, and that uses AP to actually move. If you're within range of a zombie where it will be able to attack you, it will have like these scratch marks across the tile, so you know not to move there if you can't attack in time. When it comes to attacking the zombies, you click on them and you select the weapon that you have in your inventory, and then you select where you want to attack them. Now, you don't have to always go for the head all the time to kill the zombie. You can go for the body to remove their arms, or you can go for their legs to remove their legs and make a crawler. And sometimes this can be better if you're going up against special types of zombies like firefighters or soldiers that have headgear that protect them. Otherwise, you do have the ability to just run away. Obviously, it's all based on AP, so you'll go around the building, checking the windows and the doors until you find one that's open. Preferably not having to smash the window because that makes noise and attracts more zombies from out of the area. And once you get inside the building, you have the ability to use rags that you've picked up to cover windows, as well as a hammer and planks that you're able to use to board up windows and doors. Obviously, this reinforces those windows and doors, which makes it harder for zombies to actually break through. And sometimes, if you're lucky, they'll stop trying to break through and just leave. On the odd occasion where they don't do that, they will break into the property, come through that window or door, and then you'll have to take them down. I found that I was skipping quite often because I was running out of AP, and then realized very kind of quickly that gathering food and water is very important. It does feel like hunger and thirst goes down relatively quickly even when you eat things, but you do have to manage this as well as managing sleep and making sure that you've reinforced the building enough to actually protect yourself while you sleep. Now, if zombies do try to break into the property while you're asleep, your person can hear the noise and occasionally will wake up, so you'll be okay. But there might be some occasions where they don't, in which case you're screwed. On top of all of that, you also have crafting. So when you collect things in the game world, you have the ability to craft different things. These can be tools and things that you can use, as well as things that will help you in your survival. Everything that you craft does take time to craft, and you do have to, once you press the craft button, you do have to click on that in your inventory in order to craft it, and this uses AP. When drinking water or crafting things, you have the ability to just use 1 AP by clicking on it, or you can hold it to use up all your AP to basically fully hydrate yourself with a water bottle, or continue crafting until it's fully crafted. You will have to rest several times while you're crafting one thing, quite often though, because quite often it will take about 200 AP and you're working off of maybe a few, like 30 AP every time. You also do have the ability to put on clothing, so when your person does start getting cold, you can put on more and more clothing. It doesn't seem to be a limitation to what you can put on. Sometimes you'll have to craft a fire, for example, in a building so that you don't freeze when it's really cold. I did put on a few jumpers and jackets and shirts, and apparently that was fine, though I do get kind of memories of Joey from Friends wearing all of Chandler's clothes, and well, yeah, that pops in my mind. You also have books and things that you're able to actually read to get new skills, which will help you to survive. And the reading works the same as the crafting, where you can use small amounts of AP at a time, or you can use all of your AP and then skip your turn and then do it again until you learn that skill. It is up to you whether you do it all at once or whether you do it gradually when you got free AP left over. I would recommend that if you're scavenging a building, that you finish scavenging it and then you read some of the book before you move to the next area. And don't make the mistake that I did, where I stayed in one building for about 6 or 7 different turns it gets to nighttime, it's a lot harder to navigate at night, and you can't see in front of yourself without using a light source, which utilizes battery, or potentially, if you're using a lantern, the gas in it. And every time you use a light source, it only works for that turn until you skip it. So if you have zombies nearby, you won't be able to see them unless you use your light source. Managing your hunger and thirst and energy as well as your time is very important in this game. Don't linger or stay around one place for too long, and try to move on as soon as you can. There are also other mechanics, like for example, if you get damaged or hurt, then you can bleed, and bleeding obviously causes problems. But also if you're bleeding, then you can get infected if a zombie attacks you once you start bleeding. So you will have to use things like antibiotics in order to get rid of like illnesses or diseases from eating rotten food or bad food. You'll also have to use bandages to bandage up cuts and things so that you're not bleeding anymore. And if your motivation stays low for too long, then you can get depression, so you have to take things like antidepressants. However, when it comes to taking medication in this game, taking too much of different types of medication can cause you to get a headache, which can then cause you to suffer an AP loss every time you move. So then obviously you have to manage your ailments and illnesses in order to make sure that you're healthy and, you know, good mentally in order to carry on your journey. Occasionally you will come across reinforced buildings. These reinforced buildings will have survivors in that they'll have needs and requests that they need things, and if you can supply that, then you can gain things from it. You can also trade with them in order to get things like, for example, if you need a hammer to board up windows, you can buy that from these survivors. All weapons in this game, by the way, have a durability to them. So if you get a hammer to board up windows and you find that you haven't got enough weapons, you'll find yourself needing to use that hammer to attack zombies, and eventually it will break. So I would advise against using tools in order to actually defend yourself. Other than the reinforced buildings you come across, you may also stumble across survivors within buildings that you're searching. You have the ability to trade with these people or threaten them, though I haven't done that yet, so I'm not sure what that does. But the main reason for these survivors is that you can talk to them, and the more you talk to them, obviously the more AP you use, but the more trust you build up with that person. You'll also gradually learn about their stats and traits as you do this, and eventually when their trust level is up at 10, you can recruit them. When you recruit a survivor into your team, you actually control each survivor independently. What this means is if you have a group of 2 or 3 people, you may have 30 AP per person, which will make it a lot easier and faster to scavenge buildings and move on to the next one without running out of energy too much or having to skip your turn as much. And this is one of the best things about the game. Once you start gathering more and more survivors, you can search things much faster, and also obviously fight against zombies a lot easier because you have a group. The downfall to that is that you do have to exchange inventory between people by clicking on them and standing next to them. You also have to make sure that you're gathering enough food and things like that in order to keep people alive so that you can get through to the end. I ended this game by running out of food, my energy was too low, my health was too low, so I just skipped turns until they both kind of naturally went, and that was the end of my game. But this was an hour and 20 minutes of playing, and I'm definitely going to get back onto the game again. If you like turn-based games like XCOM, for example, this might be a game that you really enjoy. Or if you just like zombie survival games, it might be something that you should get onto and give a go. It's definitely worth trying out if you like this type of game. So yeah, that's all I can say is give it a go. I am also on the road to 10,000 subscribers, so if you found this review interesting or useful, then check out my channel, hit the subscribe button, and if for some reason you haven't heard that Star Wars Outlaws has been released, then feel free to check out this video up here, because that's my review on that game. Other than that, thank you for watching my video. I've been Lycan from greenlycan Reviews, and I'll see you in the next one.